guess what? We forgot to record the opening bumper for sponsors again.
Yeah.
Because me and B are on the episode, which means that my aura of forgetting literally fucking everything is going to permeate through the LAN cables and end up in the great old land of the Queen.
Yeah,
So have fun.
I thought I was doing so well as well, but no.
It's on
But
me.
anyway, so our two sponsors today are Pugna, which is PVGNA, and Unicorn, and we're going to hear a little bit about them later on in the show.
Well, a lot for one of them,
Well, true,
I think.
actually.
Because we actually know, because we already recorded, so we
Yeah.
can tell you with hindsight.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Teach Me Tuesdays. I am your host, B-Dub, and with me is Proud. Hello, Proud.
I'm always with you.
Yeah. How's Dota been treating you recently?
Fucking great.
Actually,
I've climbed out of my MMR hole. I gained back the 800 that I lost in calibration, which is nice.
Yeah.
And my front page of Dota, it's got 2 losses on it. One of them was with a bad Shadow Fiend, and the other one was that also a bad Shadow Fiend? Oh yeah, it was two games where we had bad Shadow Fiends. Oh no, one was the bad Shadow Fiend, the other one was the Ancient 3 Sven in a full divine game. But that's neither here nor there. So the point is, I got a whole page of wins, which is a very good feeling for me now.
It's a big sea of green, I have to say. I was looking at your recent games earlier, and it's a lot of green, and I'm very jealous because I've got a lot of red.
I figured it out. The only red is when I played a few party games with Skrunk and more people than Skrunk. But with Skrunk, ain't no red popping up there. Anyway, how has Dota been treating you? I'm gonna flip it over. Your turn.
Not that great. I mean, I don't feel like I've been treating Dota very well recently, so it's kind of
okay,
having its revenge on me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I've been playing a huge amount. I've been sick over the past kind of couple of weeks, so I've been kind of dipping in and out. And I played 7 games today, I think.
Jesus Christ, that sounds...
Yeah, I played 7, and
Jesus
I lost
Christ.
the first 5.
Oh. Here's your problem, though. You woke up before noon. That's a classic mistake.
I woke up when? Oh, yes.
Before noon. You
I
engaged
did.
in pre-noonery. That's definitely what your issue is. See, look, after noon, you won all your games.
But then it wasn't... Wait, that's your time, though, right?
Oh, is it? Yeah, fuck. Because I was like, why'd you get up at 8 to play Dota? This seems absurd.
No, so I got up at, I think it was 11:30. I slept in real late today.
No, that makes sense.
And I started playing at about 11:30 a.m. And so I mean, it was just before noon. So, but yeah, I've been losing a ton, and it feels bad. It feels really sad.
Yeah.
And actually,
losing sucks.
Yeah, I had this sounds really silly. I had kind of a moment where I changed my Steam profile picture, and since then I've been losing loads. So I was like, wait, what if it's not me?
Yeah.
What if the picture is cursed? Right?
When I was in a shitty slump on Sven, I just changed my entire cosmetics load. I was like, new Sven, new me. And then I started winning again. So, I mean, sometimes you just need a refresher.
I changed it to a wonderful picture of Keanu Reeves from the 80s. And,
I know this picture.
And I won. I've won both since then. So I've been, I don't know, blessed with good Keanu karma or something.
You know who looks like Keanu Reeves?
Who?
Kona Tangent.
Really?
Looks a lot like Keanu Reeves, in my humble opinion.
Huh.
Not he's not 50, but, he looks like Keanu Reeves.
Well, that's a good person to look like.
Yeah, I mean, there's worse.
Yeah.
There's, someone who looks worse.
So I won my last 2 thanks to Keanu. So that felt nice.
That's good.
I mean, it might have had something to do with my playing, maybe, but I don't know. I'd rather
You
say
did
it
well
was.
in this PA game. It looks like, how'd this Doom game go? Did you get a BKB?
I did, but it didn't go very well. Don't look at
Oh,
it.
well, no, that's all you. You got the BKB. Look at this. This is a beautiful item build. This is perfect. You did everything that you could have.
I mean, I died a lot more than I should have.
Well, you're the frontliner. Who else is going to die? You have a bounty. Your 4 is a bounty hunter, so the bounty hunter isn't going to take any brunt of the action.
Yeah.
Your Viper, look at your Viper's build. He builds a blade mail, but he has like 5 deaths. Like, that's not die more. If you have blade mail, maybe, I don't know. Your Viper didn't die at all is the point. So clearly they weren't taking the brunt of the damage like they ought to have done. And you have a dust also. You got your drum. I bet you used all the charges.
I used all of them. Yes.
Oh, that was sarcastic. I'm actually impressed. That's really good. You got a blade mail, which I'm sure you never forgot to use because you're not like me at all.
I did a couple of times, but then I started using it.
Yeah, blade mail is my word. I used to just not buy it because, like, how the fuck am I supposed to remember that? I'm dying. I'm trying to escape. I'm not trying to be like fucking going down with the ship and like you too. Like, I don't play offlane enough to do that. But I'm getting there. You got a BKB?
I did.
Beautiful.
Yes. Yep. And I didn't like use it. Like I didn't panic use it. Because now I know that, the time goes down the more you use it.
Yeah.
Now I know that. So
it's good. It's good that you're
so I
aware of
didn't.
that.
Yeah, I'm now aware. So I didn't panic use it, and we won. But I think there were issues with that game. There were definite problems. I forgot to use my Shadow Blade a couple of times, which was stupid. Or I used it too early. So then by the time I got to someone, it was like, oh hey.
Just kind of pop out. Yeah. Just immediate doom behind you.
Yeah, I'm just I just want to say hi.
Not good.
Yeah. So
did you ever doom the Dragon Knight with his armlet on?
I don't know. I did doom the Dragon Knight a fair amount when, because he was the one I would go for when Invoker wasn't around or if Invoker was too far away.
Oh, it looks like this Invoker had a shit game, so you must have done that. That must have been what you did.
Yeah, I tried to go for him if he was around, and then Dragon Knight if he wasn't. I mean, I think I doomed Wind Ranger a couple of times, but she's kind of tricky and like running about, so...
Yeah, she's a great one to doom.
Yeah. But she was kind of difficult to get. She was far away, and I didn't want to have to walk through the entire team to get to her, which I did do a couple of times with Invoker. That's one of the reasons why I died so many times, because the range on Doom is quite large, but not because they didn't really bunch up as a team. They were kind of like playing in a line a little bit. So I was kind of like, I was just like, right, well, I'm just going to walk on through, just like
you just got to run the gauntlet of humans,
just like Doom the Invoker, then I'd just be dead. But then my team would win the fight. Yeah. So, I don't know. Worth it, probably.
That's the job as an offlaner. And that's why you get that BKB. So the way that they kill you is they have to waste like an insane amount of shit to actually kill you because they can't use magic. And then your team's like a Slark and they have no more disables left and you're happy.
Right. Yeah.
Not that you can disable a BKB, but they waste all their spells. That's the point.
So yeah, it was all right. But actually, one weird thing which I'm confused by the ranked medals is I lost more MMR today than I won, but I've gone up a medal. How does that work? Like I have no idea.
Did you win a bunch of party games?
Not recently. Like I went up when I played some party games like maybe a month ago or something, but like I haven't played it. The only recent
is your solo higher than your party?
Well, I haven't finished calibrating on my party.
Oh.
I still have 5 games remaining. I've hardly played.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I know that you only get a change in your like stars and badges and shit once you win. So like if somehow like when you calibrate, if you lose 5 games straight, you're still not going to see what you calibrate at.
Right.
It's going to be on the win that you see it. I don't know. That's some funky shit, but maybe it's a good omen. Did you gain a star?
I did. Yes, I'm now
maybe so. It's
Crusader
a gold star,
2.
right? So maybe it might be like a teacher where they give you a gold star if they're like, "Well done."
Yeah,
it's not like a full thing, but like good enough. It's not a diploma, but like, great job.
You won 2 games in a row. Good job.
You used BKB and realized that it times down.
I think
good.
That's
progress.
think that's star worthy.
That's probably what happened.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right.
So we're going to talk a little bit about what heroes do, right? In the game Dota. So seeing as we're talking, so seeing as we're talking about, so my last 4 games have been Doom, PA, Dragon Knight, and Shadow Shaman. The Shadow Shaman game and the Dragon Knight game I lost, and the PA game and the Doom game I won. But so as heroes though, like what do they each? What are their kind of what do they do? Like
what's like the method that they have of playing? What differentiates being a good PA player from being a good Juggernaut player?
Right.
What's the difference in what you're trying to do?
Yeah.
What are your goals? I guess
because like we were talking about how because just before we started recording, you were saying like PA just doesn't like blow people up. I think what was the exact words you used? I can't remember.
Yeah, there's more to PA than just getting items and blowing people up.
And I'm like, what?
There's some technique to it. Turns out the reason Arteezy is good isn't because he just has more gold and then therefore bigger blow ups. It's because he knows the secrets.
So, are you going to share the secrets with everyone though?
Well, no, I'm gonna do that obnoxious thing where I just kind of see where we're at. So, like, what do you think PA does at the deepest that you can dive into the mind of a Phantom Assassin? What does she want to do? But what does she want to do in a fight? What's her goal in a fight? We'll start with that. How does she engage in combat?
So you'll chuck the dagger out and then blink in to do the thing.
Just
right?
Straight up, you're just going to throw one dagger and then go and like on anyone.
It depends, right? Like,
what does it depend on though?
Like when, like what time it is, whether you're still like laning or whether you're doing like a big team fighty thing, and like what items you have, right? So if you've got a BKB, you might want a BKB before you go in and do that. And I guess like
if you got the BKB, you can just kind of do whatever.
No. Kind
more
of.
so than when you don't. Yeah,
kind of, because I guess like she's good with evasion. So if people are trying to hit her, then it's like, well, what are you gonna do? Like I think actually in my PA game, I was against a Faceless Void.
Yeah, it's a Faceless.
And he tried to.
Like kill you in a chrono or something?
Yeah. He would chrono and then he would try to just hit me, and it's like, well, you're not doing anything. And then, chrono went end, and then I'm just like, I can kill you faster than you can kill me, so.
Yeah.
So I guess, like, if you have BKB, you'll BKB first, throw the dagger out. Wait, are we talking about, like, who would you dagger, though? Who you're going on?
Sure, that's
Is that
a factor.
part of it?
Yeah.
Like,
no,
not, I mean, you wouldn't.
The first person you see, or do you like circle around? Do you wait for an opening? Those are the kind of questions we need to answer.
Well, I don't think you're the first person to go in.
Okay,
I think
that's
someone
smart. I agree with that.
One other person would normally go in, and then
like you're 3 or 4 or something.
Right, and then you go in, and then the rest of the team follows up. Hopefully, ideally, in an ideal situation, I think.
So, like second person in. I think that's smart.
Because then you can kind of like judge the situation, and if your initiator is going on someone, you probably want to go for the same person. That's actually one thing I've been like noticing in my games recently is like how bad I am at just going, oh, well, I think I can kill this person, so I'm just going to go and kill them. And then I'm like, I end up like really far away from the rest of the team fight. And I'm like, I should.
Chasing a Night Stalker across the dire jungle, and like the fight is on your shrine, and you're like fucking by the secret shop, like, I got him.
Yeah. And then I'm like, wait, what happened to everyone else? And everyone else is dead. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
So
I do that a lot myself.
It's just, you get that kind of like tunnel vision, and you're just like, I can get it.
You're so low, you're just like, I'll just get this kill and then go back. And then it's like, I'm already so far, I gotta just get it.
Yeah. So wait, where was I before? Wait, what was I?
You were talking about how you engage on PA. Like you probably want to be the second person in.
Yes.
That makes sense because you have more mobility than most people.
And you don't want to go
it's going to be pretty easy for you.
For their tanky person, I don't think. You'd want to go for like maybe like their like mid player maybe, or
like if
that
it's not
kind
a
of
Dragon
like
Knight, if it's like a Queen of Pain or something.
Yeah, that kind of like more squishy person but dealing a lot of damage. Or even sometimes it's good to take out like a really annoying like support with a really irritating ultimate.
Yeah, like get a disruptor during the duration of your BKB, so it won't be up for a team fight ulti afterwards.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
I think so.
Okay, so you try to second person in, find someone who's relatively squishy that you can just burst down because Phantom Assassin's damage is a size. Like, she's basically got, 6 swings total? Where's PA? Where is this woman? PA. Grants. Yeah, basically 6. You got the dagger, which is 1 attack, and then 4 attacks from PA or from Phantom Strike, and you'll probably get 1 in after that. So it's like, basically you have to look at someone and say, I need to kill this person within 6 attacks. And you're not going to kill a Tide like that, so the first person that they show to you is probably not going to be the person that you blink on. You're going to wait for your person to go in, make a little bit of chaos, and then you want to insert yourself safely, and then, kill someone in 6 hits, and then ideally your team is also controlling someone up, and then you only have to contend with 3 people, and you've still got, half a BKB to work with. So
that's interesting.
That makes sense.
I've never thought about this 6 hits thing.
Yeah, you can actually calculate pretty well. I mean, crits fuck everything up, but you can get a pretty good sense of I do this much damage, and I can't kill anyone who has more than, that average amount of health. Otherwise, they're just going to live, and that's going to be stupid.
Huh. I've never done that. That would be useful to do.
Yeah, sure.
It's just, yeah, okay.
I mean, you can average coup de grace in that as well, but yeah, it's, just like, if I hit this person 6 times, would they die? Very likely. And if it's a Tide Hunter, probably not. An Invoker probably will live with a little bit of health unless unless you have way better items than them. A Queen will fall over, a Disruptor will fall over, but a Juggernaut won't, most likely, that kind of thing. You want to engage on someone that you can kill with the 6 hits, and then you back off, and then, do it again.
Okay.
So that's how we fight on PA. But so one of the things when I like to think about, why you pick a hero or what you would do if you were playing a hero is what is the win condition for a Phantom Assassin? When you win games on PA, what is normally what is the thing that happens right before, or what is the action or event that occurs that allows you to just start hitting Raxes?
Getting good farm and items and levels. Out leveling the other team, I guess. I don't know.
So
maybe
you have good farm and levels, and nothing else has happened, and then you just start hitting the racks. How often does that work?
Well, you have to take towers first and win team fights.
Well, yeah. Okay, so just total. This is a beautiful unmarred Dota game, some tabula rasa shit, and we've got a PA in this game, and PA's I want to win ideally. What's and then the Ancient falls. Let's work back 5 minutes before that. What happened to allow that to happen? Did you siege? Did you just win a team fight out of nowhere and then go? Was there a pick-off kind of deal? Did you?
Well, ideally,
I
guess
find a smoke. Yeah,
pick-offs are good. If someone else is out, if someone on the other team is out of position, then you can just get them. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, super fast because you have so much mobility. Yeah, that makes sense. So ideally, most of the times that you've raxed on PA, has it been 5-on-5 and everything's fine? You're just hitting a tower while your team sits behind you, or
it's always been when they're dead, or mostly dead,
right?
Because you can't just hit the tower with her. I was going to say you can't just hit a tower and be oh, I'm just here.
Yeah, she builds a Desolator, which is nice, but she's just a melee hero. She's incredibly squishy if BKB isn't active, and you can't just siege with your BKB on, because that's 5 seconds of sieging, then you're done. And it's not like she's ranged, so she's just kind of got to be all up in there. So yeah, pretty much when you rax on PA, it's always going to be maybe if you have an Aegis you can do that, but I think that's still a waste of Aegis. It's such a low percentage chance of winning. You're probably just waste the Aegis, die, res, die again, or res and then blink out, in which case what the fuck was the point of that? But yeah, in general you want to get you want to get like some kind of opening on PA. Like PA is definitely like someone who abuses opponents' mistakes just because she can instantly do something about them. You know, if you have something like Elder Titan and someone's out of position and then he summons a spirit and then starts stomping, like they'll just, you know, Queen of Pain will just blink away. Whereas if PA does that, you know, she blinks abyssals, PA is dead instantly. So it's very much like one of the hero's strengths is all the mobility that's got going on. And the way that translates into an ending a game is that you like very instantly put yourself in a position where you can win. But in order to do that, there needs to like be an opening like that. So if you're just sieging the enemy base and you're, you know, they're sitting 5 people in a firing line right behind their racks and you're 5 people in a sieging line right in front of their racks, like there's no opening. There's a perfect thing. So like when you're playing PA, you probably want to avoid situations where you're just, you know, staring at the racks. You want to be kind of giving them, like if they're holed up in the base, then you don't got shit going on. Like there's a thing called that pros do that they call giving the opponents a dead lane, which is just a lane that you just leave to them, and normally it'll be like you give them their off lane because that's got less camps around it, and you just kind of hang out around that area. And anytime someone kind of like pushes up or tries to take that space because they don't know how much of it you have controlled or what, then you just like jump on them and kill them, and then that's an opening. So like that's the kind of thing you probably want to do with PA. But yeah, like you have correctly identified the win condition as like you catch some people and then you can end the game. Like you need a big advantage. You can't just fucking go up there.
No. Yeah.
Cool. What about that mid game? What are you trying to do?
Farm? Aren't you?
Yeah.
Are you? I don't know. Thing is, I feel like
farming's good.
I'm not the best at like knowing when to farm and when to go and try and do something. I'm better at going, okay, now I have this item, then maybe let's go and do this. Because I did capture myself in this game that I was just like taking camps and I didn't really have a goal of like my next item. I had I think I'd got desolated by this point and like Battle Fury and stuff, and maybe BKB, and I was just kind of like farming away, and then I was like, oh, we should probably go and do something actually. Like
it's often a good idea.
Yeah, I don't know. What else are you doing in mid game?
So I mean, you're farming your items, of course,
keeping the lanes pushed out, I guess, as well. Like going ish. Well, I don't know. Is that what you want to do? I mean, kind of. You don't want them to push
pushing out lanes is good. One of the mechanics of PA that I don't use enough, and I'm fairly certain most people aren't entirely aware of, is the way that blur works.
Okay.
And it's when you know how you can't see PA on the minimap most of the time?
Yeah.
So whenever someone's close to you, that blur, like you have a buff on your bar, like right above your skills. That's like a little buff that looks exactly like that icon. Mm-hmm. And if someone's close to you, that goes away. So she's pretty good at pushing waves because as soon as someone is close to her, she knows that. She's got a little bit of an early warning system. So like as soon as you see that, you're like, all right, I'm just gonna leave. I'm just gonna walk, activate phase boots. I'm just gonna get out. So yeah, she's pretty good at like splitting lanes and keeping them pushed. And then when you do that, that creates openings where you know someone is going to break off from the main group and deal with that lane. Yeah. And then you know you can go with your team or get some kills somewhere else. Yeah. So it's very similar to Endgame where you want to just kind of focus on trying to make openings for various pickoffs. And like, so let's say there was like a team fight happening. Okay. And you have the option to TP to it. What's like the, what do you think like the best case scenario and like worst case scenario of TPing to a team fight is as PA?
Well, you don't want to TP right in the middle of it. And
yeah, that's good.
And then your team, you don't want to TP when your team are dying, because then you'll TP in and die. You don't want to do that.
So what's a good TP situation look like? When would you want to do it?
I mean, you might want to do it if they're kind of like nearby, and you can TP in, and then kind of like run a short distance to where the fight is going, and you just turn up and you're just like throwing daggers out and stuff.
Right.
Because then you're not like right in the middle of it, right? Like you're running towards it.
Yeah.
You're like, you can kind of like, you have a moment where you can go, okay, this is who they're attacking. This is going to be our main priority to get the kill on.
Yeah. You have time to like identify threats and shit.
Yeah. Or maybe you might, like, if you think you can turn a fight, and so like, let's say your team are running towards a shrine and they're chasing, you could maybe TP in and then everyone could turn and win, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, that sounds good. Like in general,
I feel like that's not
PA,
the answer you were looking for, though.
No, I mean, it pretty much is. It's like loosely skating on the exact thing, but it's basically it. Like you want to TP like when you're going to be able to TP in a position where you can like go, you know, you're at the fight, but you can still decide whether or not you want to go into the fight. Because if it's a good fight, then you're gonna blink in. But if it's a bad fight, you're just TP and then be like, ah, shit, this sucks, and then you just like, you know, throw a couple daggers, see if you get a crit, and then back off because you didn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, in general, I mean, yeah, that's what you do. You TP in, and then you look at the fight and you see how it looks. And the worst case scenario, if you blink in, or rather, if you TP in and then like worst case scenarios, you look at it and you decide, oh, that's not a good fight, and then you back off. So like as PA, as long as you know lanes are pushed and you've got decent ability to influence the game at some point, or the fight doesn't look completely lost and you're better off just split pushing, like you're pretty good to TP to any fight, and then just if you see an opening, go for it, and if you don't, you know, don't. Also, it's very good to TP to fights on PA because typically identifying a fight is after the first round of spells has been used. So if, you know, Void starts out the fight by chronoing and killing Puck or something like that, and then Invoker used his combo inside the chrono, you're going to be very well off to then, you know, just like blink kill Invoker because they don't have any of their skills that, you know, work through your BKB anymore. So like, yeah, the one element of looking at the fight and seeing if it's good or not is identifying if the spells that you're afraid of have been used on someone because you weren't there, which is very often the case with PA. Yeah, that's the shit.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's PA though. I mean, you know, you farm and then you try to look at every fight and see if there's, because I mean the way PA works is after you get items and you win like one team fight, it's just going to be easier and easier to burst someone because your 6 attacks is going to kill, you know, probably one additional person on their team after you get, you know, one item ahead. And then another, you know, as it continues to get another new talent, you're going to be able to burst one other person on their team. And then, you know, eventually everyone looks like when you're in a fucking cartoon and Wile E. Coyote is incredibly hungry and everyone looks like a fucking drumstick. Like that's what will happen with PA, and your dagger is the fork. Like you just want to, you kind of want to snowball off team fights, but the only way you can get to a point that you snowball off team fights is by like, you know, passively farming to get there. But very much you want to just like go to fights, look at them. If they look good, you go in. If they don't, you don't. And then you want to just like get a bunch of items and then find, you know, like a key pick off or a smoke or something outside of the enemy base where you have the ability to scan and look for good targets. And then you can kind of end the game off that. But a big thing is you want to be able to utilize your mobility, right? Like you have skills. There needs to be, you know, a way that you use them that makes it better than if you were just like a melee creep. So pretty much the underlying theme of like everything on PA is you don't engage until it looks like there's a really good opportunity. Like you don't high ground unless, you know, people are dead. You don't team fight unless there's a squishy person that you can pick off. You don't engage in a team fight unless, you know, they've used a round of their spells or you have your BKB and they've used all their BKB piercing shit. But yeah, that's kind of how PA works in general. Does that like match up to your positive memories of playing PA?
Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
And actually talking about when we were talking about TPing into fights and stuff, I know, like, I think it was a couple of Teach Me Tuesdays ago when you were talking about not TPing anywhere. Right. And just like walking places and not using it. That is actually like amazing. Like that is actually being kind of like game changing. Like I've not been using it. Like I still sometimes use it out of habit, but when I'm actively like thinking about it, I'm just like, oh, look, and now I can TP to this fight because I didn't just TP to lane or whatever, TP to some like random place that wasn't particularly necessary. So that was really good advice. And if anyone missed it, Don't use a TP.
Yeah, if anyone missed it, the answer to how to win Dota 2 is don't use your fucking teleport scroll. Just never use it. Walk. Unless it's, before 5 minutes, in which case TP. Or you're a carry and there's a huge ass wave and someone tells you to go farm it, and then you TP there, and then your team's gonna lose a fight in 3 minutes, but the farm was probably worth it.
Yeah.
That happens a lot. Like, someone's like, oh, TP, get that farm. And then, like, your fucking gyrocopter missiles a Night Stalker and he walks across the map and everyone dies. You're like, I'm still here. I'm still farming. Yeah. Anyway, yes, don't use TPs until you absolutely have to. Walking is much better. TPs have an 80-second cooldown. Every time you use a TP, think of it as using your ultimate, because you're not going to have your ultimate in the next team fight because you're not going to fucking be there. So that's, reiterate that one. How much time are we at? I feel like I went on about PA for a while. Okay, only 30.
Yeah, it's
not bad.
Yeah, we're half an hour.
Okay. Do we want to go into any other heroes, or is that enough to kind of chew on?
I'd like to talk a little bit about DK.
Okay. Donkey Kong is one of my favorite characters.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, his dragon breath in particular, I'm very fond of. And the Congo drums.
Oh, yeah, you can't forget those.
I'm maybe confusing them, but yeah, anyway, yeah, I think so. I build drums on DK. Yeah, that makes sense.
So, like, what would you say DK's role is? Because, like, where is he played?
Well, he's always in the mid lane, 100%. Unless there are some people who play him off lane right now in like high tier NA pubs, but that's remains to be seen if that's going to be fucking like Logon Brupt that introduced Abaddon to like the entire world, or if it's just going to be weird shit that only IX Mike does.
All right. I played him safe lane today.
I've lost to that before, I will say. Okay. I don't think it's great, but it's definitely not the worst thing, especially since he's incredibly strong right now, so that's a big part of why that's okay. But yeah. Yeah.
It was an okay game, but we did lose, but I think it's because we had a like a disconnect rather than
that'll kind of do it.
Yeah, that kind of sucked.
I was going to say your score here is good. You're like 9-3. That's good. I mean, that's good. 9-3-8.
Yeah, it was an okay. It was like my lane went fine, especially as I didn't have a support there all the time, and I was against. Who was I against? I was against a Lich and a Monkey King, I think.
Oh, that sounds horrific.
It wasn't the best, but it wasn't awful. It could have been worse. It could have been worse.
Oh yeah, you were literally 2 net worth down from Monkey King, so that's good. I mean, you didn't have a great support, and that's a fucking Monkey King Lich lane. That's like impossible to lane against. So yeah, you did well.
Yeah, but so I kind of just picked him because it was like, oh, we kind of need someone who. Well, actually, I'm actually not sure what I was thinking when I picked him. Honestly, I know it was one of my New Year's resolutions to. Yeah. Not randomly pick heroes, and I feel like there was some thought behind it.
Well, you need a big boy definitely in this team, because you got Weaver, who's like flighty fluttery little child, and then Rubik, who is a big nerd who you can punch his glasses in, and you have Silencer, who is a librarian, and then you have Sand King, who's a bug that lives underground. Like, you definitely don't have a lot of presence in this team, so I can see you just being like, all right, we need what they call a team fight anchor, someone who like the team fight is around me, and you can base your actions up like based on my positioning, and you have a solid sense of like, they're not going to be able to pass this point, which is my big meaty dragon body.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it makes sense.
So he is seen as an offlaner or a mid hero then, generally?
Pretty much exclusively mid, unless you really fucking know what you're doing. But for all intents and purposes, he's a mid for sure.
Okay. All right. So we'll talk about him as a mid then. Because like, why is he a good mid? I guess, is he very situational though as a mid, or is he just generally just pretty good against anything?
In general, he's pretty good right now.
Okay.
But in the past, he was more situational. Dragon Knight used to exist in this space where he would never win a lane matchup, but he certainly wouldn't lose it because he's just so survivable and it's so hard to abuse him. Like classically, like he started getting big around TI3 because that was like, oh, I can play a scaling hero mid. Crazy. I'm gonna put Dragon Knight there, and he won't die to Phantom or to Queen of Pain and Puck every game like every other mid does. So that was kind of like the niche that he carved out. But now he can kind of survive any matchup, like regardless of how good they are against melee heroes. You're just kind of fine. You just shrug it all off. And he like wins lanes against, here like lane dominators like Queen of Pain and that sort of thing. There are a few heroes that he can't really lane against, or it's bad to trade farm with them. Like if you pick a Dragon Knight and they pick an Alchemist, like congratulations, you're trading farm with an Alchemist. You lose the game. Or some other mid that they don't, that really just like wants farm and is like some other mid that is afraid of being like terribly abused. Like Ember Spirit has so many fucking horrific matchups that are just terrible for him, but Dragon Knight is not one of them. Ember Spirit's laning is not dependent on him winning the lane. Like Queen of Pain's laning is dependent upon, like you're never going to be able to engage on me because you're at half health the entire time. But if you're not at half health the entire time because you're fucking Dragon Knight, then Queen of Pain can get ganked and die. So his general role as far as being a mid laner is just kind of surviving, taking attention from the enemy team, and guaranteeing that he's going to have impact later. Like no matter how badly he loses his lane, or no matter how many resources they put on Dragon Knight's lane, unless he just dies 8 times, which is incredibly difficult, he's going to be a core in the game, kind of no matter what.
Okay.
He's just a big, reliable boy.
Yeah. He was really good, actually. I haven't played him a huge amount. But Sol Ring is cool. Like, I feel like
Sol Ring is very cool.
I feel like this was the first game where I was like, oh, this is how, like, because I knew how it worked, but I don't think I really played heroes that really needed it, or
can support all the health loss and that sort of thing, or they just got mana boots and then they needed other items.
But yeah, Sol Ring is great. I had it right until the end. Like, I didn't want to get rid of it. It was just so useful.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. I'm glad that you are a member of the Sol Ring Gospel. I forgot what the item was called real quick. Anyway, you've got it here. Dragon Knight's kind of weird, but in general, that's kind of his job, is just to be like a reliable shit starter that you can't really ignore. He's kind of like Viper, only you don't feel like a piece of shit when you play him. And he's way cooler. Yeah.
What have you got against Viper?
Have you seen him? He's a little fucker. A little fucker boy.
Actually, I don't see him as much as I used to.
Yeah. He's good. I mean, or at least he was. I know. I still like him. He has his niche. They pick a Zeus mid. You pick a Viper. GG. That's always fun. People just don't like Viper because laning against him is like insufferable.
Yeah, that's true.
He's got that poison attack. I don't want it. I don't want that in my face. Yeah. But Dragon Knight's nice.
Yeah.
He's a good boy.
So, what would you say? So going onto a support, so talking about Shadow Shaman.
Yeah.
I have difficulty with him because...
Me too, I suck.
Like, and I know he's supposed to be good, right? Like, I think I've just come to the conclusion that I'm just a bad Shaman player. Yeah. Just because I can't seem to do the thing that other people seem to do, where it's like, they blink in and they shackle someone, and it's like, because I just seem to die when I do that. Yeah. I just
like, everyone jumps on them and it's a guaranteed kill with your 8-second stun.
And I'm I don't know.
You need a BKB, that's your issue.
True. But then I always find him so poor, though.
Yeah, you're never going to afford a BKB.
No. So, like, I don't know how that works. And, like, I guess I'm always worried about, like, wasting the snakes as well.
Yeah, like you use them in a team fight and the team fight just moves over like 5 meters and you're like, okay.
And most likely I'm dead because that just seems to be a running theme. So then I'm just like selected all the snakes and like trying to click on the enemy heroes and it's like out of range. And I'm like, no. Just
All right,
move
let's-
just a little bit over to the right. So, like, what would you say his goals are? Like, how would you play him? Because the reason
at the moment, I'm just so fucking bad at him, so I don't. But I do in theory know how shit should work.
Okay.
All right, well, I'll just gospel what I know from the shaman master himself,
All right.
Mr. Skrunk. Number one, always get Ether Shock level 1. Always get that shit. Because you know how much you auto attack for? 150, basically.
I mean, it's pretty good.
It's pretty. So you know what you can't do when you're shackling someone?
Yeah, hit anyone.
You can't auto attack for 150. So
No.
like, what's the fucking point? Ether shock them, and that's 140 damage level 1. Holy, that's too much damage.
That is a lot.
That's a big
That is
one.
a lot.
Let's look at one other hero in the game. Let's look at Tinker. Tinker's a big nuker boy. How much does he do with level 1 missiles? 125 with missiles. Jesus Christ, that's a lot, but whatever. Laser only 80, but this Ether Shock, 95 mana? Oof. And you right-click for 150? That's like half someone's health in 2 attacks.
That is actually, yeah.
Yeah, and it's 8-second cooldown? Oof. That's high DPS. That's almost 20 damage per second. Near it. That's a lot. I'll say that's a lot. Yeah, so I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
So at least early game, your job is to every hero's job in any game of Dota 2 is to leverage what differentiates them from a creep, or what differentiates them from a hero with nothing on them. Like Shaman early game, you have a bunch of damage, and you have a nuke that does a bunch of damage. So your job is definitely going to involve doing a bunch of damage, but you don't have any move speed. So your job is going to involve doing a bunch of damage in one general area. So mid's probably, and you're relatively squishy, so you don't want to be able to get turned on. So your job is probably not to go off lane and help your off laner get kills, because you don't have any control. You just have damage and you're going to get killed by 3 people. Probably not go mid, because you don't have any control and you're relatively low range and you're slow. So you'll walk forward and then, throw 2 auto attacks and then get punished. So it's probably you fight the enemy offlaner, because you're pretty much just going to stay in that general safe laney area. And then you're not, and if they start trying to abuse the fact that you're, squishy, then your other support or your carry can go over and save your ass. And if they dive too deep against you, you've done a bunch of damage, because that's how your hero works.
Yeah.
And you'll probably get a kill. So yeah, your general job is to just zone the offlaner and make their life fucking miserable. Yeah. That's at least early game. And that's, that's before the issue. Like, that's kind of the easy part of Shadow Shaman, is when you right click for 150 and you Ether Shock for 140. But then comes the hard parts, where you have to use your wards and you have to shackle someone in a team fight where everyone's going to kill you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really hard.
Yeah, the biggest issue, I think, with Shadow Shaman, and I'm not going to bother asking you questions because I don't know the answer myself, really. I'm just going to describe what a good Shadow Shaman looks like. Most of the time, when I get fucked by a Shadow Shaman, it's because I went in pretty far and I got shackled in a place where my team can't save me. And that's, I guess, what you want to do with Shadow Shaman. Like, yes, your skills have relatively low range and your Serpent Ward has relatively low range. But as you said, it's not entirely ideal to use them in a team fight unless it looks really good.
Yeah.
So I would say in general, what you want to do with Shadow Shaman is probably just stay as far back as you can while still being, under your Dragon Knight's protective wing.
Yeah.
Like, if you go really far back, PA is going to circle around the fight, as we said, and then, find you and kill you in 6 hits. But if you're right next to Dragon Knight when she does that, Dragon Knight's going to flip around and do that Dragon Tail shit, unless she has a BKB, in which case there is no point anyways.
Yeah.
So you definitely want to be far behind and not, open yourself up to shit. And you're squishy, so you definitely don't want to be, first one in, second one in, third one in. You either want to be third or fourth, or rather fourth or fifth, probably fifth in all honesty, in most cases. Because you're squishy, you have to stand still to do anything. And if you get hit by any ambient mini stuns even, or a root, you're not going to shackle anymore. And at that point, your only contribution to the team fight is going to be wards, which aren't ideal. So an ultimate ability that's not hitting full effectiveness, and a God willing, you're fucking really high level, a 200 mana hex that lasts 3.5 seconds, which is nice, but that's pretty low. Or pretty, it's not a lot to justify an entire hero. Right. So you definitely want to make sure your hero gets to do shit. And the only way you're going to do that is you stay really far back and you wait for like an opening volley of spells to go out. Like wait for Invoker's Tornado and the Ravage or something to come out. And then, like waddle your little butt in and then, like wrap your bandages around someone and shackle them.
I guess so I guess you want to be using your shackle when spells have just been used or when like maybe 1 or 2 of them are dead already. Otherwise, you're just going to be standing in there just like, hey.
Yeah, definitely don't like force the shackle to happen, I would say. Like
okay. So actually, that's something that I've definitely been doing. I'm kind of like, which actually thinking about it is kind of silly, but you kind of get that inclination just to go in and initiate, which is kind of...
Yeah, because you see people like, blink, stun on, like heroes, and you're like, okay, cool. Like, that's what I'll do. I'm just going to go do it. But on Shadow Shaman, the only time you do that is if you're like, your entire team is right next to you and you can all jump and burst someone immediately.
Yeah.
And in lower MMR pubs, that's probably never going to be the case. They're probably all going to be off somewhere dicking around. And then you shackle someone and then your other support is like, hey, let's get him. And then they put on their CC after your shackles have already run out. And then your Tinker starts to boots of travel to a creep near you. And then by then you've all been killed by Omnislash and Ravage and all that shit. So yeah, you need to wait for your team to do things and then find the opening. I'm sure you've played carry before, and fairly often there's the kind of situation where you enter these kind of late game team fights, and the general situation is like, oh, if my anti-mage kills their Phantom Assassin, or if my Sven kills their Weaver, we win this fight. And that's really all anyone is thinking about. Mm-hmm. And if these heroes are relatively evenly matched, like Sven is never going to kill a Weaver, and a Weaver is honestly never really going to kill a Sven. The only thing that changes that up is if, the Weaver gets shackled for 4 seconds, then Sven will absolutely kill them. Or Sven gets, Fiend's Gripped in the middle of his BKB, and then people just throw slows on him for the rest of the fight. That's what's going to change it. But that's not like a major impact from you. Even just a Hex. The only thing that's really needed to change the entire course of a fight is one spell from a stun. Or one spell from a support. Supports are stuns in my head, because if they don't stun, I don't fucking care. But yeah, like you only need to do one thing. There was like a YouTube video I made a while ago I just called it like Lion wins a team fight or something. And it was just me playing Lion. And this was after Skrunk was, telling me how he plays support and just like staying super far back. And I just didn't engage at the fight at all until, like a Spirit Breaker charged my Odie. Then I blink forward and then like stunned him and then hexed him. And then I walked the fuck back. And then I just kept waiting there. And 10 seconds later, something else happened. And I blinked forward and I hexed and I stunned and I walked the fuck back. And that was like my entire team fight contribution was that. And then we won because their 5 just died and I was just sitting back like every few seconds or every set of 10 seconds, God bless the Deca system, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to do one thing and it's going to be better than their support that did 0 things. So that's the way to do it. And if you're going to kill yourself for I kind of think of Dota as like everyone has a certain number of like effective actions or like, action points or something, and like a Sven blink stun on 2 people and killing them, that's a bunch of actions or whatever. But a shaman blinking in for 1 second of stun and then dying, like you lost a hero for maybe 1 point of actions. But if you if their shaman does that, all you really need to do is find a bit more usefulness than them, and you've done your job. Because Dota's like it's a team versus team game. So as long as you do more things than the enemy does, you're probably gonna win the fight. So if you blink stun 2 on Lion and then hex a third person and then die, that's pretty good. That's like you did like 3 actions or whatever. But if you blink hex and shackle someone on Shadow Shaman and then you die, that's like one thing. So Shadow Shaman's way worse at just like blinking in and then dying than Lion is. And even then, you don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Actually, whilst we're talking about supporting, like how much more important, or is it more important to leave lane go and stack camps than to harass the enemy hero?
I would almost always say harass.
Okay.
Because to leave lane and do a stack, that's like, one, creeps aren't shit. You know, like, creeps are garbage. Or jungle creeps anyways. Lane creeps are the fucking Holy Spirit. And everything else is just trash. And if you are leaving the lane and like, building your trash pile that your carry is going to like sift through to find a piece of copper to sell on the black market or something, and the enemy offlaner is just like fucking eating that buffet of good shit, then that sucks. The only thing that would ever be worth it is like if you were a support that was supporting mid, you know, because you're incredibly good and you identify that mid is a 3v3 lane or something, then you can like back off, give your mid player, you know, let them get experience because you're not going to be able to zone their mid. And then you stack the Ancients because the Ancients are still good shit. Ancients got nerfed last patch, which is how you know that they are the good shit, because if they weren't, they would not have gotten nerfed. Yeah. And they're still the good shit. So like stacking Ancients, sure, that's great. But, you know, like stacking a medium camp, that's like fucking 60 gold. That's if you make sure their offlaner gets 2 less CS, that's better than your carry getting a stack, like by far. Yeah, so I would always say that.
Okay, so like when should I be stacking then?
In between zoning or in between like rotations and you know, like right as you're about to get a bounty rune, maybe like if I'm going to like you can always stack the hard camp that's next to the lane. Yeah. But it's pretty rare to stack any other camp. Like let's say like if you're Dire, there's the small camp and then that little, you know, like little up cliff and then the trees, and then on the other side there's a medium camp. I'd be fine with, you know, at like 55, you attack that once and then walk to the bounty rune, boom, you made a stack, great. That's not necessarily that much better than, you know, making a stack at the hard camp, but I mean that's one thing you could do. Beyond that, yeah, like I wouldn't stress about it. Like your Sven is like, oh, stacks, but they also are gonna whine if the bristleback kills them. So like zone this shitty bristleback and then it's worthless. Yeah, I had zoning is important. It's the only thing that matters, honestly.
Okay, yeah, because I had like a moment like that earlier where I think in the previous game I had my carry complaining that I hadn't stacked or anything. So the next game I was like, right, I'm gonna get some good stacks in, and then I left and I said, oh, I'm just gonna go stack a camp, and then the carry died. My carry died, and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
And they were like, where were you? And I was like, ooh, I'm sorry.
Last guy complained that I didn't do this. Yeah. And the current guy complained when I did this.
Yeah.
What's it going to do?
Pretty much. No,
I was talking to who was I talking to? Anyway, I was remarking that like yes, someone who was on a team or whatever, and they're like, yeah, like fucking our carries whatever, and they just kind of like rage. And I was like, yeah, finding a carry who's not a total piece of shit is hard. Like carries are assholes. That's why they're carries. That's why I'm a good carry, is because I'm actually a support player, but I like to play carry, at least in terms of captaining and that sort of thing. And that's I have the strong PMA that allows me to not fucking yell 24/7 for no goddamn reason every time the support is not in my lane, which I do in my head. I don't do it out loud.
Okay.
But yeah, your carry doesn't know what they want. They want 80 CS at 10 minutes with a level 1 offlaner, and then to take a 5 stack of Ancients afterwards. That's never gonna happen. Yeah. Especially at 2K. That's just not reliable. So do the one thing that's gonna guaranteed fuck everything. Like do the best individual thing, which is a level 1 offlaner. Like you can give them one of those things. You can either give them fucking the 5 stack of Ancients or a level 1 offlaner. And the better thing to do is give them a level 1 offlaner and 80 CS by far.
Okay.
Fuck stacks.
So I'll just ignore him then.
Yeah, like stack in the mid game, you know, when you're like walking by something.
Yeah, because like, you're not really doing anything else, right?
Yeah.
Because the support, you're just kind of wandering around.
And if you're zoning incredibly well, then, you know, stack the hard camp as much as you want. Because if their offlaner is like level 3 at 12 minutes and your Luna has Mask of Madness, you'll take that in a second. But, you know, if you're stacking the hard camp while leaving and your carry is just getting killed repeatedly, then they're going to take your stack. Yeah. Don't ever stack if there's a Bat Rider, though. Bat Rider always steals your fucking stacks no matter what you do.
Yeah.
that's something that you'll definitely remember in the moment, because I definitely always remember to not do that when there's a bat rider on the enemy team, and I never get all of my stacks stolen, and then bat never gets a 12-minute blink and then never fucking insta-kills my mid. It's never happened in my life.
Never.
So have fun with that.
Okay.
Regret that's going to come to you at some point when you stack against a bat and everything sucks.
Well, hopefully I'll just remember this, which actually, like, who are we kidding? I
no, that's there are a few like
you have to go through the pain yourself, right?
Yeah, no, you definitely have to learn by doing the wrong thing. There's my general opinion, because like, you know, most of the time I talk to people, or you know, like at events, I'll like you know, I'll say something and then someone will be like, "Oh, cool, that's a good point." And I was like, "I've said this on the podcast. Why don't you remember?" But like, this is a shit ton of information, so you're only really gonna leave with one or two facts. And you know, the old one, like, "Oh, don't use your TP scroll." That was a good nugget. That's a good nugget to, like, you can walk away from the episode. That's all you remember. Fucking 300 MMR right there, easy. Remembering that against bat, do not make stacks of the hard camp near the safe lane. That's not the important part. That's not what you're looking for. The important part is you want to visualize, you know, like what a hero does in a fight and what it looks like when a hero fucking beats the shit out of you. And with PA, that's, you know, they engage second or third in a team fight with their BKB, or without their BKB, they engage like fourth or so, and they don't high ground until they get a bunch of enemy pickoffs, and they try to snowball off of kills, but they judge whether or not it looks good. They don't just go in blindly. Like, that's a good thing to take away. Not making stacks for bat, that was a worthless thing. It's distracting now. Sorry.
Okay.
Next. Where were we?
So we can talk a little bit about Doom if you want.
I like Doom. Wait, how much time we got?
Oh, I was going to say, well, we could do some ads instead, because I'm not going to forget those.
Yeah, we're at 55 minutes. We should definitely hit that up.
We'll talk about Doom another time.
Yes.
All right. So,
here we go.
Oh no.
What?
Never mind. No, I just realized I forgot to say ads at the beginning. Here's me thinking like, oh, look at me, I'm going to do ads. I didn't forget. And then I forgot to do ads at the start. It'll be fine. Okay, so now we're going to do ads. So our first first sponsor is Pugner, who are an online platform and community where high-skilled Dota players and coaches create educational videos on how to improve at the game, learn new heroes, and help you climb the ranks. The platform is ad-free, and each hero guide is divided into separate videos tackling specific concepts or hero mechanics. Actually, I've been watching one which is called the Ultimate Warding Guide, and that is some good stuff by Restocker. I think that's how you pronounce it. And it's super handy. There's like loads of new ward positions that I've never thought through. And it's good because he goes through like the obvious ones and like when is good to use those. Because I've always kind of had this like, oh, I shouldn't put that there because they're just going to deward it. But sometimes they're really useful and they give some really good vision. So it was kind of good to know, you know, sometimes those are good too. So I would highly recommend that if you want to learn about warding.
I'm very tempted to just go on like a tirade about, not a tirade, but you know, like a fucking tangent about warding right now, but I am trying to get our shows to be shorter, so I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, okay. So moving on from that, there's plenty of other content on there for all skill levels to learn from. So you can try out the full Pugner Pro subscription for 30 days, 100% free. Just email support@pugner.com.
That's one thing they told us, is that their like promo code thing is kind of weird right now, which some people have said they've had issues with. So just, you know, make your account, because you can make an account for free. Like, you know, that's free. And then just message, you know, send a message to support or whatever. It's like, hey, promo code 4th, give it to me. And then they'll be like, okay, please calm down. And then everything will be good. Yeah.
You can also find them on Twitter @Pugner, and that's PVGNA, and the website is pugner.com. So
there you go.
They're great. And now our second sponsor is Unicorn, who's everyone's premier esports outlet. They have completely legal and free-to-play esports betting everywhere, as well as real money betting if you live in the UK or Australia. You can earn betting tokens as well as Unicorn Gold to use on cosmetic item raffles just by playing your favorite games. In addition to esports betting, Unicorn has plenty of other stellar Dota 2 content, including articles, pro meta analysis, guides to new patches, and more. Unicorn also has their new Unicorn Connect service, which is CONNEKT, where you can earn unicorn gold just by playing Dota 2, CSGO, or LoL, and trade in gold for chances to win cosmetic items from those games at no extra cost to you. You can find Unicorn at unicorn.com and more info on Connect at unicorn.com/connect. And that's Unicorn, which is UNIKRN, and Connect at CONNEKT.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
So we should go on to some questions.
We should get a couple of those out. You okay there?
Sorry, yeah.
Yep.
I tried to mute myself then, but I'm still a little bit sick, so I'm trying not to.
So it's all good.
I managed to make it through all the ads though without like coughing and spluttering too much. So our first question, I think we'll do one from Colin Blue, which is specifically aimed at you.
Okay.
And they say, "Hey, Proud. Been listening to .p and Fourth Spirit for about a year now and love the content. The insight, actually, it's quite a long message, but it's nice. It says, the insight you guys provided has helped me stomp nerds regularly. Beadhub has brought up Wraith King on multiple shows, and I know you're the Wraith King guy, so I want to ask your opinion on something."
It's a great title.
I've been doing, the Wraith King guy?
The guy with the one-button hero guy. Yeah. All about it.
So he says, "I've been doing Wraith King jungle since 7.07 dropped and played 60-ish games with a 76% win rate, almost exclusively jungle. I've built Radiance every time and usually get it around 17 to 18 minutes, but as quickly as 16 tops. In low MMR like me, this is frankly unfair and broken, but would you consider this to be a viable option for B-Dub to explore if she wants to win games as Wraith King, or would you advise against jungling altogether in favor for developing better..." What is that? Heuristics?
Yeah, they may not use that word as much in the old Britain.
Yeah, I don't know whether I've ever...
It's like
heard that word before.
When you run into a number of situations and your brain starts to like make shortcuts, like it's one of the ways that people develop like stereotypes and that sort of thing is something like repeatedly happens, and then in your brain you make like a heuristic where you just associate two things more or less. At least I probably am totally butchering that, but I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I was going to say, enabling a person to discover or learn something for themselves.
I was thinking about that's how we were using it in like the psychology thing that I was doing.
It's kind of similar though, right?
Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, no, okay, so that's more for like, okay, it's more for like approaches to problem solving, I guess. So like if you do something one way, you're gonna develop a heuristic that's the way I deal with this certain situation. Yeah, okay, so I was thinking of something slightly different, but yes, okay. Glad we got that one under control.
Yeah. I swear, like, these podcasts, like, episodes always go over some sort of, like, word or grammar. Yeah. Like, I don't know. It seems to be, like, a running theme. But anyway, what's your take on that?
I mean, I advise never jungling because it puts your family through a great deal of stress, and it's not good to do to someone. It's like, it's nice to get an inheritance, but you shouldn't be celebrating that your grandmother died. Like that's how I would, because like, yeah, I'm glad you're winning, but think about all of the people you've left bloody and depressed in your wake. I mean, I'm sure they're happy once they get to 25, but that's a solid hour of stress that they had to deal with. And also it's going to be shit later. Like if I ever have anything remotely resembling a jungler in my game, fucking GG. But I mean, if you're winning, I guess, I don't know. I mean, at some point you're gonna need to do something else, and then you're gonna be like, shit, I can't play Wraith King jungle anymore. This sucks. But if you don't give a shit and you want to just do it, fine, sure. I personally wouldn't recommend for B-Dub to do that, but that's just because I hold her in high esteem. But if she wanted to just do it, sure. I guess.
I mean, I feel like I should try it at least once,
Sure.
and then just like come back next week and say how it went.
Like,
just for I don't know. It sounds intriguing. What can I say? Actually, I don't think I've ever jungled ever.
That's just because you're a perfect angel who's never done any wrong in design. Because I've jungled before. Like, I'm a sullied man. My lone druid has spent many a day between them ferny greens. Thorny, anyway. Yeah, that's I've been there. And sometimes you're just like, I want to play core, and then there's no core to play, and you're like, sorry, Pudge, you're a fucking 5 this game. And Pudge is like, no, I'm not. And then you don't have a core, but it's fine because you're 4 cores and 7 years ago, and there's no way to lose. So yeah, try it. I guess the Radiance is good.
It's not. I don't know. I think I might just try it, and then maybe we can talk about it.
Make sure you like try to jungle in like a lobby before you do it, because you're gonna fuck it up. Because jungling or like look up a YouTube guide like Jungle Wraith King 707. Because like if you just go to the jungle, you're gonna do it inefficiently and badly, and you're gonna be level 5 at 8 minutes, and then it's like, what the fuck did you do with your time? And you're like, I don't know. I killed creeps, and then I almost died, and then I went to base, and they came back, and then I killed more creeps, and I'm level 5. And that's
Isn't that what jungling's all about?
Yeah, it's like if your level isn't roughly keeping pace with the game minute, you're probably not jungling well. I mean, it can be a bit below at this point because jungle creep sucks so much, but yeah, I mean, try it, sure, whatever.
The thing is, though, even actually just thinking about like jungling and because I don't think I've ever jungled. Like, I feel guilty just thinking about it because whenever I have a jungler in my game, I'm like, no, we've lost. This is over. I don't know. Well,
76% of the time it's not. So maybe, the worst is like trying to jungle and then you lose 2 games and you're like, I'm done. Because that 76% is like several wins away now.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know. I might give it a go.
Okay. We'll report back.
Would you like to answer a question about Ember Spirit?
Let's hit one of these new guy questions. Otherwise, we're never gonna get through them.
we have quite a few. Already, do you want to pick one, or should I pick one?
Let's go with number 1. We'll clear them off as we go.
Okay, so new guy's asking, how should I play against a magic stick or wand when I'm? Oh, okay, sorry. How should I play against a magic stick or wand when I'm playing a spamming hero, Bristle, Zeus, etc. in the laning stage? I was wondering because I was playing against a Skywrath earlier, saw the magic stick and ended up not using my spells to harass in fear of giving them charges.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you what to do, and I'm not going to go off on a long story that is interesting, but anyway, if you are in Fog of War, if they do not see you cast the spell, they do not get charges. So if you're playing PA and solo laning against a Bristleback, I'm telling the story anyways, the thing that you want to do is you want to hide behind a tree and then throw the dagger and then pop out and, like do last hits, and then they won't get a charge. If you're Zeus, if you're in the mid lane, it's going to be kind of difficult. Maybe buy like 3 branches and just like make a line and then sit behind them and cast your lightning and then pop out. Don't do that. But like if you're on high ground and they don't have vision of high ground, like at nighttime or something, and you can tell if they have a ward because, especially if you're Zeus, that's great. Because if you're on the high ground and then you throw a lightning and they get a wand charge, bolt that shit, easy ward kill.
But
yeah,
that's
so
smart.
try to do it from behind trees and they will not get charges. A little harder with Bristleback, but you can, like hug trees when you're in the middle of, using quills and stuff. That's a good way to deal with it. Also, if you notice they have 10 charges because they're really bad and not paying attention, then, they can't go past 10 or 17 with a wand. So don't do it once they're there. But yeah, like just try to stay in Fog of War. That's the answer.
I didn't know that actually. I didn't know.
Yeah, it's a little known fact.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Well, that was a nice and easy one.
Good.
We could just do the next one.
Yeah. So I'm willing to go to an hour 20, and then I'm cutting.
Okay.
It.
All right.
Then I'm fucking cutting it.
Okay. So the next question is new guy's asking how to deal with losing a lane as a safe laner, like pre 10 minutes. And they can just bully you out of the lane.
Give it up. Go to the enemy. Go look for a lane that could possibly be a kill. And just jungle very slowly if there's not one. Like,
There was one game where I was playing Luna, and I was getting entirely fucking trounced, and I was level 4 at like, 6 minutes or something. And so I just like ran down, TP'd top, and then me and this brewmaster just like fucking killed, we killed a Monkey King or something with the addition of my stun. Because in most cases, your offlaner is just barely not able to kill their carry. And if you're having a bad lane, your offlaner is probably having a good lane. Because if you're having a bad lane, that means that they devoted some resources to it, or you devoted some resources to your offlane. So, either go offlane or mid. It's best if you're a carry like a Phantom Assassin that actually has a long range, disable or slow or something like that. But in general, the answer is to just swap your lanes up. If we look at any pro games, they play musical lanes for the entire first 2 minutes of like literally every game just to get the lane matchups they want, so that doesn't happen to them.
Yeah.
But if it does, then just like go to another lane and try to have an immediate impact on it by getting a kill, or save up for your fucking Morbid Mask and then farm the jungle. But the most important thing is that you don't stall and not do anything, because even if you're just very slowly killing a hard camp, as long as you're getting something and you're still getting passive gold and you're not dying, you're gonna get your items eventually. And all you need is one good team fight on where you kill that offlaner and the entire like advantage swings in your favor. So just don't get tilted, switch a lane, try to go for a kill real quick, and just try really hard not to die and farm very slowly until you have an opportunity. Also, let your fucking tower die, and then the lane will push onto your tier 2, and then you farm under your tier 2, and that's great.
Yeah, because I guess it's unlikely that they'll want to push that far forwards, because they could then, and if they do, then maybe someone else could rotate and
like your mid will TP in or whatever, and they have a long way to go before they're safe. So just kind of play around that, and try to keep your equilibrium once that happens. Like, you don't want to push up, because then you can't just pull. It's not going to happen. So just like deny as often as you last hit, when it's in front of your tower, and just kind of keep it there. Yeah.
Okay. So we have a question from Sean H saying, do you map your item slots to keyboard keys, gaming, mouse buttons, or just left click to use items, or possibly a combination of these?
Oh, I click all my abilities, definitely. I walk my druid somewhere, and then I click the entangle button, and it's entangle, and it's easy. No, I have binds for everything. My control groups are tilde as every other unit, and then I use, like 1 through 5. Skills are, QWER, and then D and F when heroes have more skills than that. G is one of my item keybinds. T is another one of my item keybinds. C is my quick cast for my blink or equivalent item. V is my quick cast for one of the buttons that I have bound to a mouse button. I have one mouse button that's push to talk for like Discord and stuff. Another one that's push to talk for in-game, because you don't always want to say the same thing to those people. And I really only use 2 item keybinds on my mouse. I have one of those Naga things, and my number 1 is talking. My number 2 is what I generally use for like Shadow Blade and Armlet. And my number 3 is my wand or mantis slot, and it has a quick cast bind also to V. So like if I have blink dagger and sheep stick, and I want to be able to blink sheep super fast, I'll put it there, and I'll like CV real quick, and the buttons are right next to each other, and I can like blink hex immediately. But yeah, and those are most of my items. Yeah, like T, V, or T, G, those 2 buttons, and S is my my teleport scroll, and I have one other button. Ideally, I think. Oh no, okay. C is that one. That one only has a quick cast. Yeah. Okay, those are all my buttons. Yeah.
That sounds like a complex setup.
It's
I
not
guess
that
it's like
bad. It's just that it takes a lot of words to say a whole setup.
Right.
The quick cast thing is the only weird thing, but
Okay.
I highly recommend. Like if you look at my my settings for my hotkeys or whatever on the skills, you see five things filled in, and then if you go to quick cast, you see 2 things filled in. So like one button has 2 ways of activating it, and then one is always a quick cast, and the rest are all regular. So like I wand and I manta the same way, anything regularly would. But if I so desire, I can put another key. I can put a different kind of item there, and then I can use that as like a instant kind of quick casty kind of thing.
Sometimes you're playing a hero that has an Abyssal and a Manta and a Blink, and you're like, can't do all these at the same time. I'm gonna put my Manta on G, my Abyssal on V, and then I can like Blink Abyssal and then Manta with my G.
I don't use quick cast for any. I don't really know.
Highly recommend having one quick cast button and just putting Blink Dagger there. Blink Dagger quick cast is like the fucking truth. If you don't use that, you're a fool.
I'm a fool then. I don't
You're
know.
a damn fool.
I don't use any quick cast anything. Like I don't even know how to set that up. Like I don't know.
Yeah, do you know what quick cast is?
Not really.
So quick cast is just you know how for every ability you have to click the button and then click where you want to use it?
Instead, like you just press it once and it kind of does it, right?
Yeah. So like let's say you wanted to let's say that you wanted to sheep someone immediately let's say you wanted to blink sheep someone. Ordinarily you would need to I would need to click C, click where I want to go, and then click V and then click the person I want to sheep. Whereas with this setup, I just mouse somewhere. Like I can literally mouse on top of a hero and then hit CV and it's done. There's no like 5 different clicks that need to occur. And if I do one out of order, it's not like it doesn't suck. So all it is I press the button and then it just happens where my mouse is. So it saves you one click on kind of difficult abilities. I've considered doing it on heroes like Tiny. Like his Q has a quarter-second delay before it actually starts stunning, even after it comes out. So I'm like, maybe I want quick cast on that so I can just fucking get it. Or stuff like toss, things that are like there's only a very brief window to toss someone if they're running away from you. So I want to be like running somewhere and then I just want to be spamming W and not like W click because then I'll like click a hero and then everything will suck and then I'll not be controlling my hero and it's shitty. So yeah, there's like a lot of reasons to do it, but it's very kind of specific. There are a couple heroes I also have that for, but not a lot. But yeah, like if you ever have some issues using any hero's abilities or like you feel like it's kind of awkward, I highly recommend going and seeing if a quick cast or an auto cast might help you. Like for OD, this is one of the things I really like. Or any hero with orb effects, any hero with auto casty stuff. Pretty much none of them have additional buttons. So D and F, which are like, if you play Rubik or Invoker, D and F are your skills. Doom, D and F are the thing. When you devour a creep, you D and F. So like you're comfortable using D and F as skills. You just don't really know it. So D and F are open on heroes like OD or Huskar or Clinks and shit. So I set whatever their attack modifier attack thing is. I set that as an auto cast to F. And then instead of being in the middle of fights and like, I'm just either I have my thing on auto cast and it happens all the time, or I have it off autocast and I have to do each one individually. That can suck. So I just have it on like, if I'm in a fight, I'm going to hit F and I'm going to just be auto attacking shit nonstop. If I want to stop, I'll hit F again and I won't be like throwing all of them out. But then for the laning phase, if I need to be using like, one at a time to avoid creep aggro, I can still do that. That's one thing I suggest. Any hero with fucking auto attack things that you can put on autocast, also bind a button to just toggle that because it's way easier than like alt clicking it or whatever the fuck. Yeah,
I never figured out what the hotkey was for it. I actually, because I used to do it by accident all the time. Yeah. So, which is the most irritating thing. I remember having I think I was playing an ogre game and I managed to put what is it? It's
Bloodlust.
Bloodlust, right?
Bloodlust can be autocast for some fucking reason.
I accidentally did it on Bloodlust, and this was when I was pretty new to the game, and I was like, I don't know what's happening. It just keeps casting it over and over again, and I had no control, and I wasn't playing with anyone, anyone I knew. I was like playing by myself, and so I was there, kind of like in a constant state of panic, like. Not putting Bloodlust on who I wanted it to, and please. I'm just like, what?
You're running away.
Just getting like more irritated. Creeps. Yeah, just getting more and more irritated. And like my teammates were like, "Can you cast it on me?" And I'm like, "I don't know what's happening."
No, I can't. It's too hard. Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a fun thing you can do. Okay, maybe a couple more. I probably went long on that. Question was not about my OD autocast bindings.
What was that, sorry?
So the question was not about my OD autocast binding, but we went there anyways.
I think it was an interesting thing. Actually, one thing I did with my keybinds is I took my because I used to play a lot of Venomancer,
Yeah.
and I used to accidentally ult when I wanted to put a, which I know
Oh,
is,
yeah,
like,
'cause
is
it's,
really
you know,
bad
right
when I
next to
wanted
each
to put
other.
when I
Yeah,
wanted
and
to
it's
put
one
a
of
wall
those
down.
ults that doesn't have a target, so it's not like, oh
So
shit,
I'd
it
be
just
like-
happens.
I remember I used to just be like, you know, in your like safe jungle area, and just pop an ult,
Yeah.
just casually. And then obviously then you would get your teammates being like, what are you doing? Like
Yeah.
being really mad on chat. So I actually changed it to F, and I've kept it like that since.
Yeah, no, that's a
just
good
because
idea.
then it's, so if anyone's having problems with that, I would
I mean,
recommend.
that's what I did on Druid. I set my summon bear to F because I kept selecting my Druid and hitting recall, which is on Q, or set my bear
okay.
and its recall is on Q, and you spam that ability. So if I'm ever accidentally on the hero and I hit Q, fucking 120-second cooldown just used for no fucking reason. So yeah, it happens. Your
Okay,
first
so-
BKB use should have like a fucking pop-up like to like say, do you want to use this? Yes or no. Because like most of the time, my first BKB is just like, you know, I had like an item in that slot. My wand was there, and then I just like hit it instinctively, and then I'm a fucking like big yellow dragon knight in the middle of a river doing nothing. Like, fuck.
That sucks. And that's the long one as well. See, I know that stuff.
Yeah.
So we'll do one more question.
Sure.
What's a nice quick one? Okay, this is also from New Guy. When to double stout and how it helps. Is that a quick question?
Never.
Okay, then that's a really quick question.
The only time you would ever do it is if you were against a brood mother or a nature's prophet, maybe. But that's it.
Okay. Great.
Okay. Yeah, is there anything that's specific to me here? The drafting one, Sam doesn't draft, but that's always gonna be a big one. Why can't Monkey King use tree dance on tree and protector?
I saw that on a YouTube comment. It's not a real like question, but I thought it was kind of funny.
Oh, 'cause
Could you
Monkey
imagine?
King, he respects the autonomy of like all living creatures, so he's not just gonna like impose his will on, you know, like a tree, or I guess sentient creatures. He doesn't respect trees whatsoever. But tree and protector is like, you know, a good natured friend. If tree and protector doesn't consent to being jumped on, Monkey King won't do it, and he takes too long to answer the question, so Monkey King plays it safe and says, no, Treant, I will not jump on you without you letting me know if I can. Let's see. Anything else? How do you last hit siege creeps under tower? I think you hit them twice if you do like 50 damage, and once if you do like 65, 70 or so. And if you have 80, then it's a crapshoot. But the towers have such huge attack ranges. It's an attack range of like 20 or something, or 40, something insanely stupid like that. And they also do like 2 times damage to catapults, and you do 50% to catapults. So there's a shit ton of variation. But in general, if you do a very small amount of damage, 2 hits and then 1 is good, and then the last hit will get it. If you do a bit medium, like, you know, somewhere between 60 and 70, 1 auto attack, and then you get it. If you do 80 or more, you can probably get it with the last hit. Cool. All right, I'm done. That's good.
Great. All right. Well,
Great.
you can follow us on
okay.
Twitter, because we're going to do plugs now.
Yeah,
At Fourth Spirit.
that's a good one.
And you can be found at Proud Dota.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And you can find me at AUPBDub. As AYUP BDub. It's kind of awkward.
It's easy. It's an easy one.
Yeah. Join our Discord, which is discord.gg/4th.
Why haven't you joined that yet? What the
Yeah,
fuck?
it's the place to be.
It's great. I'm pissed, actually.
Why?
Because they're not in our Discord.
Oh.
You know who's not in our Discord?
Who?
The girl reading this. I guess to be listening to. Do you know that that's a meme. That wasn't a weird thing. That was a yeah, no, that was I don't know where that one, you know, like fucking percolated down to. So it's just like, it's like, you know, there's some post that's like you know, like really sappy, like makeup commercials or something that's like,
okay.
They're beautiful. Who? The girl reading this.
Like that's one of those.
Oh,
Like,
I see.
But they posted with like really weird ass shit. Like I don't know.
Yeah,
you forgot your chili dog. Who? The girl reading this. Yeah, so
really
I
sure
made
what to
that
say
joke
to that.
for Discord. Anyway,
Okay.
I'm glad I had to explain that one. It's not a great.
Okay.
It just came into my head. I'm sorry.
Jokes are always better when you explain them. So,
I find that to be true.
yeah. And be sure to send us a question. show@fourthspirit.com. Wait, that's I do this every week. That's the email, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, good.
Fuck yeah, it is. You got it.
show@fourthspirit.com.
Don't doubt yourself, B-Dub. You got this.
I do that every time. I should actually just write it down because every week I'm like, wait, is that the right one? Or
Get
you
a
can send us
tattoo.
yeah, I should. Or send us a question, send questions through Twitter or on Discord when you join.
Or Ouija board.
All that, yeah. And yeah. Do you have any closing thoughts? Anything you want to say?
Buy TPs, hang out on the outskirts of fights and judge them. And I don't know. I think I said too much already, so we're
Okay.
good. I'm trying to cut down the length of these. 'Cause
okay.
we always go to like an hour 20, hour 30 minutes.
Yeah,
And that's not the goal.
I think the final thing I want to say is if
Okay.
you're having a losing streak, set your Steam profile picture to a picture of Keanu Reeves and then you'll start winning.
We could start a cult around that, actually. That's good. We're gonna remember this, and this is gonna come up often. Okay, great.
Okay, then.
I'm gonna
Goodbye,
stop.
everybody.
Here we go.